Hi, I'm Noah,
I am Jin.
I'm Lachlan.
and this is our Capstone project review.
So we're going to start off this video with what our project was, what accomplishments we had, and what motivated us to get there. What inspired us to start this project was we saw a display in the library, and it wasn't really that easy to use for the librarian's sake because you had to actually go into the code. So we wanted to make that easier to be able, so the librarians are able to just type in uh, a message and have it display on the board.
So the main elements in our project would definitely be computer system software engineering, just because we had to reprogram an Arduino and figure out how that works, as well as electrical engineering, since we did make a physical product alongside the code.
We're judging our halfway point off of uh, what it was between starting the term and midterms. Once midterms hit, the COVID pandemic started, and it was really hard to continue the project from home just due to how, only one of us could really work on it at a time. So I would say our halfway point um, was being able to transfer data through a phone wirelessly through Bluetooth onto the Arduino, and that started off just as basic binary and being able to send numbers and being able to show them on a board. But we slowly developed that by midterms actually to show strings on a board with LEDs and transfer your entire strings and characters. We plan for success throughout this project, just knowing that no matter what, we will have a finished project. Like, we had our standards pretty high, and we had our hopes that we would be able to make an app, be able to send data through Bluetooth through our own app, and have our own tablet. But we made sure that no matter what, we had our baseline sending data through Bluetooth, no matter what. Like, even if we use an app that was already developed, we had a way to have success and have a final project regardless of the situation.
The big picture pieces we considered were making our own tablet with an Arduino board and having that connect Bluetooth wise to the running board, LED running board. And we also considered making our own phone app on the Android to also do that to the LED board.
So our mentor, Mr. Yi, actually really helped us a lot by breaking down what our future steps should be down into really simplified parts. And if we did need to fall back, we would have something that was already completed and worked almost flawlessly. So it was very good to have that.
Um, so we did have to work with other people because we were the first group ever in the Capstone class in Mission Vista, and Lachlan would do all the hardware and software, so would Noah. But since I didn't know hardware, I would just look over their shoulder and then try to help them out as much as I could, and also help them debug code when they needed it.
So the most logical order we put all the pieces together in was basically work on receiving code first, because there was only really one way to receive code, or not code, data over a Bluetooth stream on Arduino, but there were multiple different ways you can transmit it. So we decided to get the somewhat easy part of it done first and have multiple different ways to figure out how to transmit the data to the Arduino.
All right. So we kept ourselves motivated throughout basically the whole entire project up until I would say midterms, just because again it was really hard with COVID going on and only one person be able to work on it. But our motivation really came throughout like our CS experience. There, we all took 4 years of computer science and digital electronics, so we all just have like a passion for what we're doing. And class itself, it was just something that we all enjoyed doing, and every day, like personally, I would look forward to first period being able to go to school and work on something that I enjoyed. And it made me feel better about myself, like feeling productive and whatnot. So we all just kept on track because we enjoyed it. So for future capstone students, I would recommend doing something that you enjoy not something that feels like a job to you. Even though at some points it may feel like a job, it'll get better. And for any like tips that I would have or our group kind of came up with would be make sure you have a plan for yourself. Make sure that you find responsibility because this class does teach you a lot of responsibility and you need to own up to what you promise yourself that you're going to do. Make sure you have a written plan so that you can look back at it and it's make it specific so that you don't slack off because if anything you're just hurting yourself. You're not doing it for anybody else. It's really just for you. And so you can build up a resume or whatever you need to build up. It's all personal progress.
The greatest challenge we had through this project was figuring out the Arduino to Arduino Bluetooth connection. We figured out it actually was a really unstable connection the Bluetooth had, and we had to switch where our transmitting code was coming from to the phone. And we pushed through that by with our mentor figuring out that basically this was useless to keep going and we should just change our plan now before it gets any worse.
So what we like most about our final product is it's, first of all, easy to use vastly. It also looks better aesthetically, even though sometimes, or most of the time, you actually won't see the top of the wiring. And it's also just more functionality included into it, Bluetooth, and we can now dim the LEDs. The previous group was thinking about doing it another way, but I found in code references that you could actually dim the LEDs. So.
Something I wish we could have or do better was more time because we had like 2 months away, at least for me, from our total time that we could have had. And with that time, we could have been able to make our own app.
So to regard the continuing work on the project after the year's over, I am actually going to turn in the project physically in mid-July as school is still closed and no one is really allowed back at school. So I'll have that extra time to finish making the schematics of the wiring and the coding for the whole project as a whole so it can be rebuilt in a orderly fashion.
And this concludes our capstone review. Thank you for watching. Yeah.